Galaxy S25 Ultra is Samsung's latest high-end flagship, promising cutting-edge performance, a stunning display, and some big camera upgrades. But after using for 2 weeks, does it really live up to its hype? In this review, I'll break down the good, the bad, and whether it's worth your money. This is Jeremy's Tech. Let's get into it. Alright, so first let's start off with the design of the device. So this is a typical slab phone, but comparing with the S24 Ultra, this one has rounded corners now. It's no more sharp at the edge, which is good. And the design overall, I wouldn't say has changed a lot. The cameras at the back, typical signature design, I would say, since the S22 series, but it has a bit of a rings kind of thing. You can see there's rings around it now. Besides that, it's practically the same design overall. The good thing about this one is the Ultra variant has titanium frames around it. It's like the iPhone, you can say, but other than that, pretty much identical design, I would say. Not missing much, but there is subtle changes here and there, especially on the corners of the device. But other than that, mainly it's the same device like the S24 Ultra, just with refinements, I would say, in terms of the design. But overall, pretty good from what I see. Next up is the display. So the display on Samsung devices usually are very good. So this one is still the same Quad HD display panel. So you go to display settings and it can go up to Quad HD resolution, and the refresh rate is the same as well. So it's a 120 Hz refresh rate, but this screen I believe can go all the way to just 1 Hz. If you're doing nothing on a screen like this, it should be at 1 Hz, so that is going to save some power at least. So that's pretty good. And overall, I really have no issues with the display. It's really vibrant and bright. If you put a maximum brightness, you can see in outdoor conditions it's really good as well. No problems. Leave it full auto brightness. It handles everything without any issues. So if it gets really dark, it goes really dim. If it's in bright outdoor sunlight, you go to the maximum like this. So yeah, pretty good overall, and I suggest you leave it in adaptive brightness so that you don't have to worry about anything. So it will just auto adjust accordingly, which is fantastic. So that's the display, and yeah, it's pretty good overall. So now let's talk about the performance of this device. So the main highlight obviously for this device is using the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset. So this is the one that came with the device, and it's all the same throughout all regions this time. No Exynos nonsense this time. So really good. And if you go to device manager, I have installed here, you can see we're running on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset for Galaxy. So this one slightly overclocked, I would say, not in terms of the original one comparing to this one, not a big difference. But if you're gaming, you'll notice, I guess, the clock speed is just faster a bit. Other than that, pretty much identical performance comparing to normal Snapdragon 8 Elite without overclocking. But overall, I think the device performance, from what I've been using it for the past 2 weeks, no lag so far, very smooth. I've never seen any lag so far in the UI and everything. With One UI 7 on this device with Android 15, it's been a blast. So far, I did not encounter any like lagging issues or the device like hanging on me or something, or force closing apps, or just suddenly restarting for no reason. Never happened so far on my device. And this is the latest update I got. I have no more software updates available, so yeah, this is the latest build, and so far so good. Alright, so now let's talk about the battery life of this device. So I've been using for just 2 weeks, and I could roughly get a day's battery worth without any issues, without having to charge it or anything like that. The only time I have to charge it midway is if you're doing like heavy gaming, for example, playing Genshin or Zenless Zone Zero, like for an hour straight or 2 hours. The device does drain a bit of battery because it's using the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite. It does consume more power, but I'm happy to say that the performance on this device and gaming is really good as well, despite it consuming more battery. So that's one thing that's nice that I noticed about this device. And it does get obviously a bit warm over here at the back, so around the cameras area over here, it does get a bit warm. But if you're using a case like me, you won't really feel uncomfortable playing it with a case. But if you're using it without any case, yeah, you might feel the heat at the side of the titanium frame. That's where the vapor chamber is getting heat out. So it's doing its job, and I think it's really good. So far, really didn't encounter any like throttling issues when heavy gaming, and so far it's been really good. I didn't even notice any lag while playing games as well, so that's something great. Yeah, so battery life for me pretty okay. I wouldn't say it's the best thing I've ever seen in my life, but it's not that bad as well. It's you can get a full day without any issues, without having to charge this device. Yeah, if you really need to top out a device, this device has a 45 watt fast charging, wired charging. It also has 15 watts G2 charging as well wirelessly. So that's still nice to have, and it's pretty good so far. Other than that, yeah, battery life, I guess okay. Since the battery size on this device is the same, it's 5000 mAh battery. No changes compared to last year, but I think they did improve in terms of the software and also the hardware they're using, so you can get more performance of this device without sacrificing too much battery life. And I'm running this device on the normal mode. You can put it in light mode, so you can save more power. There is a few power options you can use. So far, I'm running on the normal mode without any issues, and on the QHD Plus resolution as well with the 120Hz display. No issues whatsoever with the battery. Everything has been pretty good so far. Just not like can last 2 days or something, just a full day worth of use. So yeah, that's pretty good overall. Alright, so now let's talk about the camera. So the cameras on this device, I would say it's really good, even though it's very poor lighting conditions. I noticed this device, if you're using night mode, especially at night, it really gets the job done really good. I didn't even notice any like massive noise or graining in the pictures. So you can see some samples I'll show you guys later. But overall, the pictures in normal lighting conditions, whether indoor or outdoor, I really noticed the device performance compared to my old device is really fast, really good. In terms of the focusing speed, the picture taking speed, everything is processing really good with this device. I'm happy to say that the camera performance and also the video is really good on this device, regardless you're doing it at the daytime with a lot of lighting or at night with very little lighting, it still gets the job done. I think it's a really good device overall for doing videos, vlogging as well, and just yeah, I mean it's just really good. You also have that option of zooming in 100 times if you want, but yeah, it's there and it's really good so far. I didn't have any issues so far, but honestly guys, the zoom function I think is not the main thing. The best thing about this device is you can use the 200 megapixel function, which is pretty insane. The details on it is fantastic, and yeah, I would say after recording the device quite a long time, I didn't really notice a lot of heating issues. It's okay. Recording in 4K at 60 FPS, no problems whatsoever with the device overheating or whatever. It's just warm. It's not like super hot, so it's just alright. So pretty good, and yeah, overall didn't have any issues so far with the camera. I didn't really encounter any bugs or anything like that so far, and yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with the camera overall. So far so good. Alright guys, so let's also talk about the call quality of this device, because if you're buying a smartphone, you always want to know how's the call quality, because sometimes even though the device is really good in terms of its specs and everything, but does it make phone calls good? And I'm happy to say that this device, no issues whatsoever. Call quality is amazing on my 5G line here on U-Mobile, so yeah, no issues here for me. If you're using different telcos, maybe you might have a bit of variance, but for me so far, yeah, using the U-Mobile line, 5G line so far, it's been very smooth. I didn't have any like drop calls or whatsoever. So yeah, pretty good device. Talking of mic as well, the noise cancellation on this device as well is pretty awesome. The user over the other side couldn't hear much noise, so that's really nice. You can talk in public and you won't have to worry about the noise so far. Alright guys, so now it's finally time to talk about the cons about the S25 Ultra. So this device is not perfect. There is some flaws I would like to share during my time on this review. So the one thing I noticed is regarding the S25 Ultra, if you use like magnetic accessories like this, example this I have this U-green magnetic ring. So yeah, this is a holder basically to, you can do like this for your device. So example, I do like this. You basically can let it stand, so it's kind of like a holder or kickstand. But this is a magnetic case as well, so you can attach this magnetic ring to this case, and actually it does have some consequence to your S25 Ultra, especially if you use the S Pen. So the S Pen is being interfered. So let's say I try to like write something, it doesn't work. So that's a problem I noticed straight away. If you're using like magnetic accessories like this one, or any kind of thing that attaches to your case, it will affect the S Pen functionality. So that's a downside I would say with if you are using the if you're using a lot of magnetic accessories. But if you don't really use it, you just use a normal case, then this shouldn't be an issue. So that's something to take note of. Another thing is, I think most of you guys already know in the news, Samsung omitted the S Pen Bluetooth functionality on this device. So this is one controversial news that came out everywhere. I mean, a lot of people were, I guess, not happy because it's a downgrade versus S25 Ultra. So you are missing the Bluetooth functionality on this device. But for me, I came from the S21 Ultra, so for me it wasn't really a big deal. But for those coming from S24, S23 Ultra, yeah, I can see how you might feel because you are kind of missing out on one of the features which Samsung says is there's only like 1% users that uses it, that's why they removed it. I think that 1% of users can be like millions of people. That, I mean, that's for a lot of people, right? So there's a lot of customers, so that 1%, I mean, that's a lot of people still. So I don't know, man, why they removed it, but it is what it is, so we can't really do much. And yeah, so if you're planning to upgrade to S25 Ultra and you're really hoping the S Pen has a Bluetooth functionality, I'm very sorry to say that it doesn't have. So yeah, if you like those features for the S Pen, it's not available here, so you might want to skip on the S25 Ultra. But yeah, if you don't really care about the S Pen and you're just gonna get this device anyway, this doesn't affect you in any ways, then yeah, it's okay, you can buy it. But if you really care about it, yeah, don't buy this device because it doesn't have it. So yeah. And last but not least, we have, I guess this is sort of a con because comparing this device to various manufacturers of smartphones such as Xiaomi, we have Oppo, we have Vivo, a lot of competitors, especially in the Chinese smartphone brand. They already have released way faster charging speeds compared to this one. So this only charges at maximum 45 watts wired charging and 15 watts wireless charging, as I said earlier. And that is considerably slow because comparing to other brands, I said they are already more than 45 watts, some are even 100 watts. I mean, yeah, I think it's time for Samsung to buck up their speeds in terms of charging speeds because yeah, they are really behind. And I think that is a con, I would say, because if they want to sell this device and be standing out compared to competition, yeah, they gotta buck up in terms of the charging speeds. If not, yeah, they're gonna be way behind, and yeah, people are not gonna buy this one possibly because of that, because maybe they want to charge the device fast and this is slower. Maybe it's a deal breaker. So it could be a deal breaker for some of you guys, but I was want to share that this is one of the cons, I would say, because if this device is like maybe 65 watts maybe, or even 80 watts, maybe it's really good device already, you can say. So it's almost perfect, but unfortunately it's not perfect, so that's why I have to say this. And last but not least, we have to talk about AI. So Samsung is advertising this device as the true companion device, the true AI companion. So this device does come with a lot of AI features. If my camera on the focus, so Galaxy AI has its own settings in the settings app. So there is a lot of functions of the AI stuff you can use. To be honest, not all is very useful in real world situations, but the one I like the most is the photo assist feature. So this is turned on, and yeah, you can obviously use this during the editing of the photos. You can edit someone's pictures and remove somebody from the picture as well if you don't like it. Like example, someone photobomb you or you want to delete it, you can use the generative edit feature which will delete that object that is blocking or something. So it's very useful. I find that quite useful. You can draw on the image as well and it will generate something based on your drawing. That is also pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't get it right, sometimes it's okay, but it's there, you can use it. Yeah, we have other AI stuff as well. We have drawing assist, we have audio eraser, and also we have the now brief, which is like the now bar at the bottom of the screen here. It appears sometimes, like when you're gonna sleep, it does appear and show you like the summary of your entire day, or sometimes they'll show you the next day what you want to do and your upcoming events, etc. So you show in one summary where you can see on your device. So that I think is really good as well. Other than that, the other features like note assist, transcript assist, all those are additional AI features which is nice to have, but not all the time you'll be using it. Sometimes I didn't really use it, but sometimes it does come in handy, it really depends. And we have also call assist, writing assist, interpreter, all these stuff. I really couldn't test it during my 2 weeks of testing because some of these features require someone from another country to use, like the interpreter, because in my country everyone can speak English, so not a big deal in terms of the language. But I say go to China, for example, I think this is very useful. If someone's calling from China, you can use such interpreter. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. And also the call assist, yeah, all those features will be very useful when you have all those scenarios as I mentioned. But on that, Galaxy AI, I wouldn't say is like the major thing about this device. I think it's nice to have those features, but it's not a must-have. So that's what I think about the Galaxy AI features overall. Alright guys, we have come to the final part of the video, which is the conclusion. Whether should you buy the S25 Ultra or should you skip this device and wait for another device you wanna be interested in, maybe another brand or maybe Samsung's next flagship. I don't know, but in my opinion, if you are coming from the S24 Ultra, the previous generation, this is a clear skip for you. You don't need to buy this device because, as I said earlier, it's kind of a downgrade for the S Pen, especially if you care about it. And it's not a big difference. I think S24 Ultra still at this time is still a really powerful device, even though it's using a last generation chipset, but it's still really good. And if you get it for good deals and promotions, you can find any good sales, it's still a really good device to compete with versus the S25 Ultra. It's not too far off, and it's also going to get its One UI 7 update very soon. I'm sure Samsung has to release it at some point, and also Android 15. So I think you're not missing much if you upgrade to S25 Ultra. But if you're coming from an older generation device like me, I came from the S21 Ultra, which is already 4 years old, then yeah, it is really worth it to upgrade. You are getting a lot of new things which you don't have in the past. So especially like the S Pen, for me, I never had one, so this is my first you can say S Pen device I've ever had, and it's also my first Snapdragon device. I don't remember having a Snapdragon high-end flagship chipset in my life, so yeah, this is the first as well for me. So it may be different for you, it really depends. So you gotta see what you need in a smartphone before you decide. But overall, I can say this device is like an all-rounder device in my opinion. It gets the job done in various aspects, but not, I would say it's not the best in terms of every aspect, but it gets the job done just right. You know what I mean? Just okay. So it's like an all-rounder device, but not a perfect device for everyone. So yeah, other than that, I think that's all I have to say with the S25 Ultra. What do you guys think about this device? Are you going to be buying it, or are you just going to be skipping and looking at other brands? Yeah, it's up to you guys. But overall, I think if you really like the latest from Samsung, yeah, check out the link in the description for the S25 Ultra. You can use my link below to buy yourself an S25 Ultra. Thank you much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.